Hi, Pete's fans. Welcome to another episode of For Pete's Sake. I am your co-host, Matt Reeser. My other host this week is unfortunately not available to record with me. He is in London teaching them how to play hockey and how to support a real team like the Petes. But we have a lot to get into this week, so let's dive right in. The Petes actually made a trade for an overage forward from Niagara, so we'll talk about that. We'll recap the three games the Petes played this week against Kingston, Brantford, and the Oshawa Generals. After that, we'll go into our three stars of the week, which was tough this week. There could have been a lot of them. As you know, the Petes lit up the score sheet this week. Maybe not getting wins, but the effort was substantially better this week, and we saw a lot of good things that the Petes can grow and build off of. After that, we'll take a quick look around the league and let you know who's playing well as teams this week and who's kind of sliding down the standings. And eventually, and after that, we'll go into our upcoming week of games. And with the Petes actually playing the day I'm recording this episode, Tuesday, October 29th. So big game tonight against the Niagara Ice Dogs at home, a rare Tuesday night game. And we look forward to seeing the Petes bring that effort that they brought this week, because there was some exciting hockey played by the boys this week. So let's dive right into it. The Petes made a trade with the Niagara Ice Dogs, acquiring their former captain, Gavin Bryant, sending the Ice Dogs two draft picks in the process, a third-round pick and a ninth-round pick. Gavin Bryant hasn't played a game this year. He's actually recovering from shoulder surgery. And he was about a week away, they said on the live game feed last Thursday, so he might be able to suit up this week. He was their leading scorer last year. They acquired him actually from the Owen Sound Attack. And another move, bringing an overager, maybe for mentoring these young guys on the team. Got 21 goals last year, 54 points. From all things they write about him and say about him, he's a quality guy. He started a diabetes initiative in Niagara while he was there. So you're getting a quality character guy, but it brings it back to four overagers. You can only play three. Maybe it's a way to kind of give them competition, internal competition, but also you get a guy who's been through a rebuild in Niagara. So maybe you use his voice in the room, kind of learn a few things from him. But overall, it's a trade to bring in another forward with a little bit more experience. And we'll see what it does for the team. I think that's the reason they probably traded for him. Just another veteran voice to have in there. Can't hurt to have another captain. In Owen Sound, he actually wore a letter as well. So you have him, McIntyre, who's been a captain, Malee's been a captain now for last year and this year. So it gives you some more leadership. Maybe that's the direction they saw with this trade. And it also gives you some internal competition. We'll see what he can bring to the team. Again, he hasn't played yet, but I'm excited to see him get in the lineup and really bring in another dimension to the team. And I mean, the Petes scored more goals this week, so maybe his observations and character around the team have helped already. We're not in the room, but another trade, and welcome to the Petes, and it'll be good to see you on the ice soon, and hopefully your recovery from shoulder surgery has gone well. After the trade, though, the Petes did jump right into a busy week of hockey. They played three games in 4 nights, which is a tough thing to do. They played some good teams. I would say some of the upper echelon teams in the East, all three of them. So they started off with a home game against the Kingston Frontenacs. This was their second meeting against Kingston, the other one being the home opener, where Kingston dropped 7 on the Petes. This one ended 6-4 in favor of Kingston. Peterborough got off to another great start on this night. Carson Cameron jumped in to the play and netted the first goal less than 3 minutes into the game, which is another great fast start for this team, which we've been seeing lately. After that, though, Kingston kind of took over the first, hemmed Peterborough in, outshot them 15-4, and came out of that period with a 2-1 lead. Zach Bowen made some incredible saves. He's been doing that all year. Aiden Young would actually draw the team even early in the second period, just going to the net, banging in a puck. Nice to see him get his first of the year. And it was the Aiden Young show this week. After that, the confidence after he scored this goal, uh, as we'll talk about, was just off the charts. After that, though, the Kingston would score two quick goals from Jacob Battaglia, highly touted pick from the NHL. He would get two goals really quickly in that second period to put them up 4-1, and then they kind of matched each other down the stretch, with Kingston winning 6-4. But Aiden Young would score his second of the game, and Nico Addy would get on the board for the Petes, his first of the season. So good to see some guys getting on the score sheet that hadn't yet this year. Good efforts by the young guys in this game. Liam Lads would get into a very spirited fight with Ethan Medina. Uh, I would say he won the fight, but I guess I might be a little biased, but he got some good shots in. Uh, and the Petes actually outshot Kingston 26-23 from the second period on. So you could tell that they're improving as a team. They hung with Kingston after that first period. They really battled back, tried to come back in this one. But I think that early period again kind of dug them a little bit of hole, and then you're doing an uphill climb, and you always feel like you're coming from behind, and that's a hard place to be in the OHL. But again, they only gave Kingston 3 power plays, and they had 5 of their own, so the discipline's getting better. And good to see Young and Addy and Carson Cameron score goals for your team, especially Young and Addy getting themselves back into the score sheet. Because I'm sure as a young guy, it's hard for your confidence when you haven't put one in the net and you're a few games into the season. You want to be seeing yourself in that column, and now they both have scored a goal. And it hasn't been a lack of effort that they haven't been on the score sheet. They just haven't had the puck luck. I think the Petes have kind of struggled with that a bit this year. They've had chances, but this week it seemed like they're starting to go in for them. So that's good to see. So then they head down to the Bulldogs, our rivalry team last year, a few brawls last year. The Petes went there on Saturday, skated away with a loss, but they pick up a point in the 4-3 shootout loss. This I thought was one of their better efforts of the season. Brantford came out and got up 2-0 very quickly. Actually, I think within the first 9 minutes of the first period, and the Petes just said, "Okay, we're a slow start, but we're gonna kick it up a gear," and they did. They, I thought, dominated the last 5 minutes of the first period, and then in the second period, they tie the game up with Ryder McIntyre getting his first of the year and Liam Lads getting his first career OHL goal. Really great to see. Lads is a hard worker. McIntyre's been all around the net. Actually had one of his better weeks, I would say. And you go into the third period, tied at 2 against one of I think the better teams as of late, Brantford. They have a lot of skill, a lot of veteran players. So good to see the fight back in this one. They go into the third. Nick Lardis scores less than 2 minutes in. The Petes don't go away, though. They score actually 22 seconds later. Chase the finish, gets back in the score column, and you've got yourself a 3-3 game. And the Petes would play just stride for stride. It was a very fast-paced third period, lots of chances back and forth either way. And they only 4 penalties in this one for the Petes again. So again, the discipline was great. They take it to a shootout. Bowen lets in 2 of 3 chances from Brantford, and Caden Taylor is the only one that scores for the Petes in the shootout. He let it off, and then Fitzgerald and Young would be the other 2 shooters. They both got close, but in the end, Taylor was the only one that scored. But again, you walk away from this one and you like the effort, you like the fight back from 2 down and then 3-2 down. And I thought this was a building block game. I think this could really be a turn the corner kind of attempt for the team. You could see the neutral zone coverage was better, getting it out their puck was better, the fight back was better. And to be honest, I thought this game would be a little more spirited. It wasn't as rough as last year, but there were moments after every shootout goal, the Brantford guys would go by the Pete's bench and they'd be harping at each other. And after Lardis shot and didn't score, the Pete's bench gave it to him in the shootout. So again, a little feisty, but again, what I really liked was the pushback and the younger guys jumping up, feeling a little more confident. Young and those guys that are starting to bounce around. Caden Taylor played well. McIntyre blocked some huge shots. Um, Strohack made some huge plays again on defense. So Jenkins, Matachuk is starting to get going. So you're seeing this team go in a lot of good directions. And Bowen again played well. So another thing to build off. I know you can only build off so many games, but this was a different feel for the Petes. It was just their ability to feel um, like they had their chances and they weren't scared. Once they got down, they kind of said, okay, we've got this. We can stay with this team, especially a team like Brantford at Kingston, who have a lot of offensive power and can score quickly. The Petes responded every time in both those games. So I really liked it. So then the Petes wrapped up their week with a Sunday night game in Oshawa, down in the SWA. This one was a offensive display for both teams. It ended up being 7-5 for the Generals. Seneca and Barlow got 5 of the Oshawa goals, so their big guns really stepped up. They actually scored 11 seconds apart in the third period, which was the goals that got Oshawa the lead for good in the third period. And then they would add the empty netter to win 7-5. But Aiden Young continued his great week. He actually got a hat trick in this one. Francis Parrish got probably the goal of the year in his first OHL goal, holding a defender off him and tucking it around the goalie, which was great to see Parrish score. And the team unity when guys are getting their first, the players are excited. The unity's good. Again, the fight back was good in this one. Every time the Oshawa would score, the Petes would answer, which was amazing to see. It's also great to see them put up another 5 goals. The offense is starting to come together. Bowen played his third game of the week, and he made some big saves, especially in the third. Oshawa really, you could tell the Pete's legs were a little tired in the third, and Bowen was keeping them in there. And then you get a guy like Seneca and Barlow who are elite finishers, and they just found a way to score 2 quick ones, and then the empty netter what is kind of it seals the deal. But again, 7-5 game. Nice to see Younger continue to drive the offense. Francis Parrish getting in there again. Just yeah, really, I thought I'd really like the effort in this one. And you get McIntyre scoring again, which is great to see. He works hard. He played the right way in this one. He blocked 3 shots on one shift, and he was really, you could see, mentoring the young guys, and that's what you want from your leaders. I think that he plays hard anyway, but I think the trade maybe was like, well, I'm one of the 4 overagers, got to earn my ice time, and I thought he was excellent. Same with Mali and Lefebvre. You can't fault any of their overagers or any of their players this week. They all played really hard. And you saw the Pete score 12 goals in 3 games, which is fantastic. So we get to add some more teddy bears to our toss, which is great. I'm also going to count Caden Taylor's shootout goal. So we got 13 this week, which is outstanding, and let's keep that going. And let's keep the effort going because, again, lots of great things to see from the boys this week. I'm excited to see what they bring into this upcoming week. So again, my overall thoughts this week, discipline is getting significantly better for these guys. They used to were taking like 9 to 10 penalties at the start of the year. They're down to like 2 or 3 a game, which has been great to see. Their neutral zone trap is working. It's stopping teams from getting speed and coming into the zone. They're giving up less shots, still a few too many, but they're leaving them outside. They're blocking shots. They're getting in lanes. I think the defensive coverage in their area, getting it out, is kind of that one of the pieces they still need to work on a little bit, but it's getting better. So you're seeing a lot of progression. I know they haven't won a game yet, um, but they're really, really close in a lot of games. They're not getting blown out. They're not giving up. There's no quit. So I really like what I'm seeing, the trends, and I think it's only going up from here. Um, the second year players are starting to find the role on the team. A guy like Addy's physical, Caden Taylor, great shot. He's getting it off more. Aiden Young, you just saw what he can do when he gets his confidence and he takes key draws. Carson Cameron on the back end plays tons of minutes. Strohack, I don't think people realize how the importance he has to this team. Bowen and Ned is making outstanding saves. Parrish is um, jumping up and down the lineup, and he's effective out there. Um, like just so many guys you could see on this team pull their weight every night, and you can just see that group of second year players is being mentored well by the older guys like Fave, Malee, McIntyre, Matichuk. Those guys are doing a great job, and it's nice to see them uh, kind of starting to take over the team a little bit and kind of dictating how many goals they're going to score. Fitzgerald had a beauty against Oshawa again, um, which was nice to see. He looks not uncomfortable out there. So you're seeing the foundation for a team that could be getting better next year and maybe in 2 years taking that jump to being one of those top echelon teams. So that's really good to see. If you take the Oshawa game, for example, Oshawa's top guns got 6 of their 7 goals. The young guys on the Petes got 5, all 5. So you take away the upper year players, your third, fourth year players, and the Pete's second and first year players scored 5, and the younger players on the general scored 1. So there you go. You get an idea of where this could head next year, even and in a few years, and even as they go on this year, the younger guys will continue to get better. So that's a good trend to kind of keep your eye on if you're looking at this team. Is are the younger guys outscoring the other team's first and second year players? Are they could give you an idea of what this team could eventually turn into, which I think is exciting and is going on the way up right now. Um, I thought maybe you might see Johnson this week. He didn't get into a game, but maybe they didn't want to rush him. But Bowen's played 3 games this week. He's played a lot of games this year. You kind of worry, is he getting overworked? There's a few that maybe he would like back, but overall you can't fault him for his effort. But it's something to keep an eye on. You don't want to overuse your goalie, especially earlier in the year. And then again, you didn't have McCallum or Paget in the lineup, 2 of your veteran guys who kind of never give up, are tenacious on the forecheck, finish their checks. So getting them back in the lineup will definitely help. And Gavin Bryant. So you have 3 guys that you didn't really have in your lineup, and you still scored 12 goals. So another positive for you. Lots of positives this week. I'm excited about this team, excited about another week of Pete's hockey. So let's go into our 3 stars. This was a tough one for me. There's so many guys you could have put in here. I didn't end up putting Parrish in here, but congrats on your first goal. Liam Ladd, same first goal. But for me, let's start with the first star. It has to be Aiden Young. Scored 5 goals this week, his first 5 of the season, and then he gets 2 assists to go along with that. Takes key draws for this team. Wasn't really having a lot of puck luck through the first part of the year, but 5 goals in these 3 games was really driving this offense, especially the Oshawa game. He was almost willing them by himself to win that game, but how many he was putting in the back of the net. So great to see him get off the snide and play the way he was playing, because you can see how important he is to this team, and when he scores, what he can do for an offense, which is great. Second star for me, it's got to be Carson Cameron. I know he only got the 1 goal and 2 assists, but the minutes he played, the block shots, the power play time, the killing penalties, just he looks so confident, doesn't look like a second-year defenseman to me. And for me, he's playing against the best players on the other team every night. Never gives up in the corners. I just really would like him as a defenseman, really taking on on that role, and you'll see how important he is on that back end if you go to a game. So Carson Cameron for me is the second star of the week. The third star for me, I'm going to split this one because there's so many good performances this week. Nico Addy, first goal of the season. He's been physical, finishing checks all year long, which has been amazing to see. Got another assist against Brantford. He's always protecting the younger guys when they go to the scrap after a whistle. He's in there, standing up for his teammates. I think he's probably a very popular guy. He's never negative on himself. You can always see him upbeat on the bench. So for me, Nico Addy is our third star. And I'm also gonna give Strohack a shout out here. The Petes have a minus 31 goal differential this year, which means they've let in that more than that they've scored, 31 more than they've scored. And Strohack is only -3 on the season. That's incredible as a defenseman who plays as many minutes as Strohack does and has moved with so many different partners that he's only -3 this year. And he is so crucial out there. I saw him strip a puck on the power play and take it down. That penalty kill has been better lately. He's a big part of it.
Let's just take a quick dive around the league here. So Windsor is the first team. Congratulations to them with double digits in wins. They beating the Niagara Ice Dogs to complete that feat. Their goaltender is a perfect 9-0 this season, which is a great start for him, a great start for that team. They're just firing in all cylinders right now. So the Spitfires are definitely the team in the West that has come out of the gate the hottest this year. But hot on their tails is the Kitchener Rangers. They've won 6 straight, or 9-0-0-1 in their last 10 games. So after a little bit of a slow start coming out of the gate, they have really found their game. Brantford Bulldogs have gone 5-0-2-0 in their past 7 games, so they're starting to find their rhythm. Got the defenseman back from the Belleville Senators. They've got Lardis, and as we saw, we played them this week and lost in a shootout. But that team has really turned the corner. The Barrie Colts have won 7 of their last 10 games. They're a very structured team, getting a lot of contributions up and down the lineup. Wakely addition has helped them a lot, but another team that's started to play really well. And then you've got London and the Greyhounds out west with 4 game winning streaks each. So they're come on too as well. So some good weeks for those teams. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got the Steelheads have kind of fallen off, and so have the Spirit. They both hit some rough patches lately, losing to some teams that you wouldn't really expect them to, but that happens in the season. We'll see how they recover. That's the big thing in the OHL, is getting those streaks dealt with and moving forward. The Ottawa 67s are actually 54% on the penalty kill. So they only kill off roughly about just over half their penalty kills, which has led to them being a little bit sliding down the standings lately. They did beat Sudbury Wolves this week, but again, a 54% penalty kill is not great. We haven't played them yet, so I'm interested to see how the Petes will fare against the 67s this year. And then Owen Sound and Guelph. Guelph is actually limited to 9 forwards due to injuries, but they just get Jet Lechako back from the Philadelphia Flyers, so that will help them. But those teams are both on prolonged losing streaks, kind of sliding down the bottom of the West. So kind of keeping an eye on that. In this week upcoming, the Petes have 2 games, as I mentioned, as I'm filming today. They'll be playing Niagara tonight. They're the highest scoring team in the Eastern Conference with 51 goals. Niagara's done a great job of building their young group up and surrounding it with some veteran defense. And they've gone 7-3 in their last 10 games. So this will be a difficult one to win. And they've found the ability to win a lot of close games this year, which will be what the Petes will look to do and build on as the season goes. So this is a good measuring stick, a team that rebuilt and has now kind of jumped up and is in the next stage of a rebuild. So I'm curious to see how the Petes handle themselves tonight. But as I said, this week had a lot of positives, so it could be a really entertaining game. They're led offensively by Kevin He, who sits top 10 in OHL scoring with 11 goals and 10 assists. And a lot of former top picks up front offensively. Waslin's on their team, Robrick, due to rebuilding. So they have a lot of offensive power, as I said, some veteran D, a good goalie. But they also have the 3rd most penalty minutes in the Eastern Conference, so maybe you take advantage of them get them in a few extra scrums after whistles, or see them take some penalties and get on the power play and hopefully convert, which the Petes have had a little bit better puck movement on the power play lately. So the key to this one will be shutting down their offense and just playing a simplified game, get it in deep, hit their defense, trap them in the neutral zone. Don't let them come through with speed. Those will be the big things for the Petes tonight as they play Niagara. And then they wrap up this week with a Friday night game in Kingston. Again, we played them twice, both losses. They're the second highest scoring team in the Eastern Conference. You go from the first highest to the second highest scoring team. You got to limit Battaglia, Soto, and Gudrun line. They have put on a clinic this year. They've won both meetings this season. As I said, they've scored 7 and 6 goals in those games. And they tend to either win by a lot or lose by a lot. So, for instance, after beating the Petes, the next night they lost 7-2 to Oshawa. So it's a team that you catch them on a wrong night, you can put a bunch through them. And with the Petes offensive guys kind of turning the corner, it'll be fascinating to see if they can, go into Kingston. They'll have a bunch of nights off before the game and just win a game there. But it should be exciting. So a good week ahead. But that's all the time we have for this week. I hope you guys enjoy the episode. You can catch our content. We'll be posting to YouTube and Spotify, and we'll upload it here on Facebook for you. But as the Petes trek ahead, just stay behind the boys, keep being positive, a lot of things to like, and let's get some victories and be excited for the games ahead.